Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode number 12, I believe, right? Episode number
12.
12 of the Hot Drop.
Good evening, everyone. It is your host, Grim Reaper, live from my studios here in Death Valley with my guests, or our team here. Episode 12, as stated, of the Hot Drop. This is the final one for BGE season number 4. We're going to cover champs, who won, who the MVP was, our biggest winner, and a whole bunch of other stuff in this episode. Try and keep it short, but with these two,
No
who
shot.
knows what's going to happen.
No shot.
As always, I'm joined here by the most electrifying man in PUBG Entertainment, Shocks,
Hola, 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 mi gente. What up?
and the one and only K-Dub.
What up, guys?
Okay, dude.
Alrighty, get into this. BGE Season 4 finished last week. Our winner, Skyline Gaming, 327 points, 8 chicken dinners, and 198 kills. So, Skyline finally gets that trophy in the BGE. No longer a number 2 team. Thoughts on that, guys?
100%. I just want to say, about goddamn time. Start off with that. And listen, Skyline's been around since BGL, BGE, all the seasons you could think about. Like, they've been pretty much playing them all, and generally with the exact same roster they've been playing with right now. And they've been notoriously a team, just a second place ass team. You know, they always come up short, and how many other teams wish they were second place? So obviously a top 2 team, but finally getting the job done. And you know what? I was actually really surprised. One, somebody said immediately they wanted a trophy on their name in the Discord. Rightfully earned, right, Grim? And you had to give them the trophy in the Discord.
Yep.
Two,
That was Omarta. That was Omarta.
Omerta. Hey, two though, I low key, I thought Skyline was gonna be like, you know, really like pounding their chest, throwing it in people's faces. Like, they've been classy winners for the most part. Like, I thought they were gonna be like rubbing it in, you know, because they finally got it done. Because they've been a second place ass team and they've been dogging teams to get third or fourth. You know what I mean? We're just better, and they've been really classy about it. So shout out to Skyline. And I've butted heads with them plenty of times in the past, so it's good to see. Lately, they've been like an A1 organization, so shout out to them. So rightfully earned, and now the new face of the BGE, at least for another season.
K-Dub?
I just want to say that I called this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when my first episode on the Hot Drop, and they didn't disappoint. They came out. I can't remember what they were in at the time when I picked them, but I said if they got the their core 4 rolling, they could easily climb up the leaderboard and catch everybody, and actually ended up putting some distance on between first and second from where they were. So.
Yep.
Kudos to them. And you're right. They have been pretty humble. You don't see them pounding their chest at all.
Right.
I mean, none at all. Far Cry. I think maybe a little tutelage from Kratos there has gone a long way. And maybe they're just a little bit older, a little bit more mature than when they were finishing second place all the time.
True.
So.
Yeah, I remember Kratos, you know, I would be like having struggles with them. I'm like, bro, like, get your boys. And then it was at a point where he was just like, just mute them. Anytime they say anything, I don't care what the reason it is behind it. I don't care if they deserve it or don't deserve it, mute them. You know, and we
Right.
kind of really never had to get to that a little bit, you know, and I'd be like, hey, Kratos said I can, you know, but they've been good, man. So shout out to them. Yeah, man.
Definitely. And I will second everything that was said here. They deserved it. I mean, they've been that team that has been through it all, the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, and good core, solid 4. And I hope this isn't a one and done. I hope they continue to thrive and pick up more in the future. And who knows, maybe a land champ one day.
Yep, they got second last time, and I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? Like, it's good for them to get the championship now because I mean, we're expecting another season, but you never know. You know,
Yep.
this could be the last one. We don't know. Hopefully, we get
They could go
3,
out
4, 5,
on
6,
top
7, 8, 9.
as a champ.
Exactly. You know, but you never know. So we'll see what happens. But you know,
Yeah. Real quick, I told you what Skyline was. Let me run down the rest of the scores real quick here. Version 2 did come in second, 289 points. So they had a 38-point swing from Skyline to V2. So definitely that distance that K-Dub was talking about there, putting the distance between them in second. V2 had 4 chicken dinners and 194 kills. 20 Squad South, the only Brazilian team, taking third place with 262 points. Console Killers took fourth with 225. Dub Hub took fifth with 200. Kinetic 7 took sixth with 173. Torch took seventh with 164. Properly Tucked took eighth with 151. So Strong ninth with 134. Hellfire in 10th with 129. Crazy Mob in 11th with 124. 20 Squad North in 12th with 110. Denial Esports in 13th with 103. Brotherhood Esports in 14th with 98. Cracked Minds in 15th with 83. And Time to Report in 16th with 35. So that was your standings for everybody, first to last. 30 games, 3 weeks, all in the books. Moving on to MVP. Let's start with K-Dub on this one.
I'm going with V2 Taz, little kid in a hat. He didn't have the most kills. He did have the second highest Twire rating. But this kid gets dogged in between seasons during quals, gets benched, gets threatened to get kicked off the team. I don't know if they're messing with him. I don't know if it's just a ploy to get other people off guard or just talking about V2 in general. But I feel like he gets dogged a little by that team, a little bit of a scapegoat. And here he is. He's leading the whole team in Twire rating. I think he actually tied for the most kills on the team, too. So he is star quality of a player, and, like, they got to stop ragging on him. Like, you got to stop it. So he earned some respect, not only from the community, from the team, too, in my eyes.
And low key though, random, like if you ask random people just on Twitter or something like that, the majority of people probably would say Lil Kid's the best team player on the team. We watch it every day. I say Rat, you know, but a lot of people would say Kid, you know. Let's be honest here. Like when we did LAN and stuff like that, he's the most popular person in the stream. Who do you want to get an interview from him? Kid. Boat got a lot, and I think Acid got a lot where people wanted to see them. So
Yep.
You know. But people love Kid, and he gets shit on by his teammates all the time, and maybe rightfully so because I mean he can be toxic. Let's be honest. You know, I've seen PUBG reports, and he is wild. You know, especially if they're losing, like he throws his little fits. So
in the Discord chat too, like he tends to gets under people's skin real easy.
Yeah.
But get him out there shooting a gun. He's one of the best, if not the best.
Yep.
When he's not in a trolling mode.
Yep.
That's right.
When he's not in a trolling mode. When he locks himself in.
When he's not Key Joe.
Yes. I mean, to that point, I don't know what the deal is with V2 and Little Kid because, like you said, they dog on him a lot. And, I mean, I can even say that day before finals started, he was in my DM asking to be put on TSN's roster for finals because he was told he was not going to be playing on V2, that he was going to be benched and they were going with somebody else.
They told him he was going to be benched, and he is the number 2 Twire player.
Who is he going to get benched for, do you think?
My guess was Linkadox at the time.
And what team did Linka end up going to?
Then the next day, that Friday, Little Kid's in, Link is out, and Link is out, left V2.
So
where do you end up?
Yeah, where do you end up?
Ended up over in 20 Squad South. That's a whole other story.
And where was Kijo gonna go? Where was Kid gonna go?
He wanted to go to 20 Squad North.
Oh, so okay. To Grim.
So
Grim's just waiting. Grim's lurking. You know that meme with the...
Wait. Who was playing with 20 Squad North this
That's
week,
Grim.
too? There was a mixed team a few nights, right?
There, Tragsy was also
V2 Trag?
Jesus.
V2 Trag was playing 20 Squad North.
V2 is the new team name.
But he has left us and went back to V2, it appears.
Oh,
but
my.
But it went both ways because TSN Carm played a couple nights on V2 with Sparky and them. Got a chicken dinner on Sparky's birthday.
That's what I mean. A couple mixed squads.
So
yeah. Who cares about TSN?
I tried to work a little something out, like, hey, maybe we can like float players back and forth, similar to what DubHub and BHE does for the EU side of things. Yeah. Share some players to make a team.
The gauntlet is he's just collecting stones for his gauntlet.
Listen, nobody cares
about
the
reason he's BG Thanos.
Nobody cares about Trag. We care about the MVP of BGE Season 4. My MVP, Skyline's very own Baby Joey. Listen, Joey, you might think I don't like you, but god damn it, son, this boy is an absolute beast. The clutches that he had, if you ask TSS who's the MVP, they're saying Baby Joey. Cracked Minds, they got that smoke 3v1. Same thing with TSS. Like, my man was absolutely clutching. If you take away the points that he got for those clutches, Skyline might not be in first place. You know, those clutches are like essentially 20, 30 point swings that could have went in favor of a TSS or another team. So I think Baby Joey, maybe not in the Twire rating. I think he's third in Twire rating, but the intangibles, like those clutch moments, don't come up on Twire. You don't see you won a 3v1. All that marks is those 3 kills, right? He won 3v1s to win dubs, and to me, that's MVP. You know, Jordan hits that final shot. Baby Joey hits that last shot as well. So shout out to Joey, my MVP.
14 points that you take off of that right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, still that was still way behind. V2 was beyond that. That could have changed the scope.
Even the one where it was Cracked Minds, TSS, and Joey. Like, if Joey goes down early there, now it's TSS versus Cracked Minds. You know?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And we might not be talking about champs and him as an MVP.
Yep.
We'll be talking about him in third place.
Being a third place ass team.
Right. Where they normally are, second, third.
Second, third. Yeah. What about you, Grim? Who's your MVP?
I'm going with Zaladay. Skyline also. Number 1 overall in the Twire rating with an 89. Most kills in the league with 60. He played 5 less games than everybody else, so his rating I feel is a little skewed. Like if he played all 30, would he still be number 1?
Be higher.
Possibly.
Could be higher.
Could be higher. It could be higher than 89.
It could be lower. You know, just
could be a lot more kills too.
You got 5 more games. Definitely could be. I mean, next closest behind him was Joey with 53. So first and second kill leaders were both off of Skyline, which proved in the points of 198 kills for that team. Zal has turned into an overall great player, great addition for that team. He wasn't one of the OG4 on that team.
Yeah.
He was a great pickup, though, and that team has become a lot better with him. He fits that role perfectly.
He's come a long way from the run and gun days when he was on NT, hasn't he?
Yes,
he has 100%.
1,000%.
Definitely.
People that are watching this video probably have no idea who the hell NT is.
That is true. But yeah, he has definitely come a long way, and the work and all that he's put in there, it's showing. So shout out to him.
And I said it during season 3. I was like, we need to start talking about him as the best player in the game. And I mean, like nobody, when you say who's the best player in the game right now, really nobody says Zalady. But he proves it time after time that he should be the first person we say, and nobody gives him his respect. So
I wouldn't even. Yeah. Honestly,
I name off like 2, 3, 4 people before I say Zalady more times than not.
Zalady probably wouldn't hit the top 5.
And yet he's always on the top of Twire, and we just, we got to start putting respect on his name.
Yeah, absolutely. He's proven. Yeah, every tournament he's in, always near the top of the Twire.
What more does he have to do?
Agreed. Alrighty. Biggest winner / surprise. So, who was your surprise team or biggest team that you did not expect to end up where they ended up for the good? Not for the bad, for the good. Shocks.
My surprise biggest winner is gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be 20 Squad South. All right, and obviously everybody knows 20 Squad South is a good team. Yada yada yada. We get it, right? But they're definitely a surprise team. If you were to like poll anybody that's just a viewing player, they have no idea who the hell 20 Squad South is, nor who's on their roster. And this is a team that fell apart, lost all their members to Jen. The majority really only had Net. You know, he was the one that kind of brought it all back together. And I'm telling you guys, they lost everybody to Jen. And like within a week or two, they were already outperforming Jen, losing their top 2 or 3 players. And then now all the Gen guys begging to come back because they all want to be a part of that TSS show. They just won back-to-back tournaments, or not back-to-back. They've won 2 tournaments in the past 3 days. So I mean, they're doing their thing. So shout out to TSS. But I just think that the only non-NA team, you know, they're a South American squad for those of you guys that don't know, hence the 20 Squad South. So to me, I just think that they're definitely performing in an environment that's really a play style that's not their play style. You know, if you watch the Brazilian tournaments, they're way more aggressive. It's a completely different play style than NA, and they are thriving in our system. So I say TSS, even though they threw. I mean, they threw their asses off that last day. They played like trash.
Yeah.
So
they were first place going into the last day, weren't they?
Yeah, first and third.
It was
so
them and Skyline. They
definitely
Friday night they bounced back and forth.
Yeah.
TSS went into Friday night as first place.
Mm-hmm.
Skyline took first game 2. TSS took first game 3. Skyline took first game 4. TSS took first at the end of the night.
Yep. So
came into the last day and they just fell apart.
All they threw overall, I say TSS. You know, just because nobody would say that they should be a top 3 team, and I mean they proved it. So shout out to them. Very impressive. So I like it.
J-Dub, who do you got?
Some people might think that I'm trolling here. I am not trolling. I promise you. But my biggest winner / surprise was Hellfire. I dog this team up and down all the time. They are the standard for being a crappy team, night in and night out. But this team sucked it up. They cracked the top 10 forever. Like they've never done it. They're always in the bottom 2 or 3, and they pulled it together. They broke the 100-point plane, and you know, like 100 kills or so. They like a lot of the teams in the top 10 only sat around 100 kills. So they like kudos to you. Great job, Italian, in pulling it together. I definitely did not expect you to even be in the top 15.
No, hey, he definitely does it, because the other hot drops, I would always give him high hopes, and he'd be like, "Why? Like they are terrible. They are who they are. I don't know why he holds them to such high standards." So he's definitely.
Yeah. I did top 10. It's a start.
I'm surprised.
And you know what? He's carried that momentum off to this new team that he's playing with.
They just got 30.
With Sturdy and they just went back to. They just won a game the other night, which I think is like their first daily win in forever for Italian.
Just paid him out. I think I just paid him for second or first place.
At first place the other night, and it was the same night the Dub Hub came in second, and he rattled off 17 kills. Like maybe it was just the environment. Maybe he had to step back from the leadership role.
Yeah.
So
could be.
Frag out.
Yeah,
but
he's been playing on Vindictive a little bit more lately.
Now you know what
Vindictive,
space feels like when he has to take the IGL role. Those type of players takes a lot out of you.
it does.
You have to be looking at the map instead of looking for people to kill. You know.
Mm-hmm. And I've always thought Italians had a great shot, but he just didn't. He just wasn't putting it together on leading a team. I don't think so.
Grim, who you got, brother?
Yeah.
I mean, to the Hellfire point, definitely breaking the top 10, I think, is a huge accomplishment for them. You said you didn't expect them to be past, they're in the top 15. I mean, T2R was taking 16th place no matter what, so
Exactly. That's how little I thought of that team.
So definitely good. I think they kind of lost their best player off that team, which I think is why maybe Italians playing a little bit more with Vindictive, because that it seems like that team fell apart because Kathy's looking for a new team. I don't know about Hudster or Coma. Italians playing with Vindictive, and then Auto Snipe, who was, I feel, the best player on that team, has joined a new team, which is the team that is my biggest winner surprise, and that is CK, Console Killers. So good segue into that one. Console Killers, shout out to them.
Definitely.
They snuck their way into 4th place. At least getting their money back, hitting that top 4 for payday at least. Exclusive, Matty Iraq, Eminence, Bazaar, Signs, Debish, Yager. On paper, that is a great team, and they showed it.
Yeah.
131 kills, 3 chicken dinners. They,
damn good
for a team that's kind of been put together. I don't want to say like last minute, but picking up a few pieces here and there in the last like month or so. That team is showing that they're going to be a team to contend with at the top. And I mean, at one point, I think they hit the 3rd place mark, and then they kind of fell back a little bit. They're competing with V2 for that 3rd position, and then V2 just kind of got a couple games and shot themselves up. So Maddie on that team taking MVP in the quals just shows what that team can do.
How many games did Maddie and Jaeger play in champs? Because I know both of them, to me, those are the 2 best players on the team in terms of slaying power. Maybe not overall high IQ. I don't know about all that stuff. But slaying power, I love fraggers. Really good players. So
Signs played a total of 5 games. Yager played only 5 games.
Exactly. And I think he's the missing piece, really. He's beast.
Exclusive and Bazaar played all 30. Maddie only played 20, so he missed 10 games.
Yeah, and Bazaar and Exclusive are like the brains of the operation. You know, they're the IGL guys that make it go. But fraggers, Maddie and Jaeger, really good.
Maddie, for his 20 games, he got 20 kills, so he at least averaged 1 kill a game.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, no, Console Killers definitely, I mean, K-Dub would agree. I mean, they're probably, if we had to just say who's, you know, the biggest surprise or the biggest winner, probably Console Killers unanimously. But, you know, our own personals or whatever. But Console Killers are beasts, man. Like, we're surprised by what they did. And who did they edge out for the top 5, for the top 4 spot?
That'd be the Dub Hub.
Oh,
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
A little shot there. A little shot across the bow.
All right.
I got you. You're going to be owing me $22 soon.
I know.
I was going to say, I didn't start that, so I'm out of this one.
I had to.
All right. Let's go. I'm going to skip a little bit here. Disappointment team. So we just talked about the team that we thought did the best, that was a surprise. So how about the team we expected a lot more out of that completely fell flat? We started with Shocks last time, so let's start with K-Dub this time.
All right. Well, I got 2, and I don't know if I'm stepping on anybody's like toes on this one by picking 2, and I have them for different reasons. My first one is BHE. BHE, I love you. These are my there's not a better set of guys out there that play this game, but BHE, you guys were awful. Didn't even break the 100-point mark. You finished what they finished 15th. Like 14th. That's bad. That's really bad. Like I can't even beat the drama. I don't know what was wrong. I don't know if you guys just were getting contested. I didn't get to watch you guys that much, but it was ugly. And I hope you guys figure it out and bounce back soon, because that is very BHE like. Yeah. The second one I want to point out is DN, like, guys, for one of the few teams out there paying contracts or having contracts for players,
What?
you guys can't be finishing that low.
What?
Like,
Who they
it,
paying?
like,
I'm trying to get on the team. Shit. Pick me up.
like they were on Twitter asking about do players get contracts. From what I've been told in private messages, I'm not going to release who, but DN is giving out contracts, and they're not. You can't be finishing that low if you're handing out contracts.
DN,
there's
if
people
you're
out
handing
there.
Contracts, pick me up, and I guarantee you at least one more spot improvement. All right, what's up?
That's right. And but those are my two big disappointments, because if they like DN is paying people, that's ugly.
That's poorly.
What are you
placed
paying
money.
for?
Shit.
Yeah.
What place did they get, Grim?
13th. They were the last team to break 100 points.
Jesus Christ, bro, don't pay those guys. You need a refund.
62 kills over 30 games.
Oh my God, no.
Your BHE to point over the same, obviously 30 games, had 63 kills. So only one more kill than Denial.
I thought B-More was gonna come back and save BHE, but he played like, I love you, B-More.
He played like doo-doo. He played like doo-doo. He was no help.
They're out of sync. And I can sympathize with BHE. I know what it's like when a team's out of sync. Trust me. And I hope, like I said, I hope they figure it out and get back to normal soon, because we need the good teams to be good teams. And
when BHE and the Dub Hub team play together, you guys, they play good. Like, I seen them play in EU, and they play freaking good together.
They do.
Like, they're more in sync together as different teams than they do on their own teams. Like, I don't know.
I wouldn't go that far. They still didn't win anything.
You got a point there.
So my disappointment team, I'm gonna kind of go a little bit with KW here. I had two. One was BHE. I mean, he covered that a little bit. I expressed basically the same stuff. You couldn't break 100 points. You're one of two teams that didn't break 100 points. I'm not counting T2 who are, because they only played 1 week. So, I mean,
I'd count them.
they're a whole separate disappointment. So BHE is one. The other one, Cracked Minds. The other team that didn't even break 100 points. They didn't even break 90 points.
Shit. And they did good in the regular season.
I picked them. To go from what was that category last time? Yeah,
basically first to last, or last to first.
Yeah. Just somebody that's going to greatly improve over the course of. And wow!
And that's because they got like a second place finish too.
Second place. So you got
when
America,
they lost to, Joey,
Jair, who I mean JR, but I call him Jair. Effects, Bougie, Kofry, Michu. All great players. Like that team on paper is an awesome team.
Yep.
I just don't. What happened? 56 kills overall. I mean,
they're getting 30 games. You're not even getting. They're not even getting 2 kills a game. That's rough.
No, you're a little over a kill, like killing 1.6, 1.7 maybe. I mean, that team just fell apart. They had a great regular season from what I remember. I
think I got a new Hellfire to beat up on.
Hellfire kicked their ass all day in Prim. Like, it was just over and over. It was bad.
I mean, Cracked Minds finished third in their division, 119 points. So, I mean, they did great in quals, and then they just completely, excuse the French here, shit the bed in champs. And I'm not going to say they would end up in last place, because I don't know how T2R would have played over those 2 weeks. But, I mean, T2R's was starting to kind of come into a little bit of a groove. So, I mean, you might have seen them at the very bottom, which would have been even a bigger surprise. So, BHE, Cracked Minds, mostly because they didn't break 100 points, but Cracked Minds mostly because of that roster. They should have at least been top 10, somewhere up there.
Well, I agree. As far as mine, I mean,
Well, I skipped you. I'm sorry.
This is YouTube, and on Twitch, your boy don't curse. I try my best not to curse any. The only time I ever curse on Twitch lately, really, is like lately when I've been lagging out. I'm like, what the fuck, But other than that, like I'm pretty chill. But I lose it when that happens. But you know what? My biggest disappointment, losers. Kinetic 7. What the fuck? All season, regular season, champs. K7, no, it's okay. It's the regular season. They're going to bounce back. They're going to win this thing. It's champs, week 1. Yeah, they played crappy, but you know what? They're going to bounce back and win this thing. Week 2, they're going to bounce back. You guys absolutely fucking through all champs. I mean, you guys played like shit. Every opportunity where a Skyline or TSS went out early, you did nothing. Absolutely nothing. You guys, like, died immediately after them, if not before them, so never took advantage of any opportunities. And then the last week, they didn't even show up. And then Grimm's affiliated, he knows them or whatever, and he's giving them the excuses. This is not a shot at you, Grimm, but giving them they had this going on, this guy went out with the woo, and then this happened with this dude, and I don't give a crap. Y'all had a 7-man fucking roster, and y'all mustered up 2 goddamn players. I get that life happens, right? You know the schedule. The schedule didn't change. This wasn't one of those, there's a server update or something happened to change the schedule. There was none of that this season. It was probably the most efficient season in terms of changing time slots, and nothing happened. You knew the season. You guys threw it away. They were sitting in, 4th, 5th, like right there to take the money, and they just didn't care. They didn't care enough to show up, because even the week before that, I think they were 3-manning it. Or, like, what the...
They 3-manned one Friday night. I think they 3-manned one game or so.
Like, what are we doing? Like, they just blatantly don't care, and obviously they didn't buy in, so they don't give a fuck anyways. They have no skin in the game, but I mean, it's disrespectful to those that do show up. It's disrespectful to the integrity of competition. I mean, you're bringing us down to a 14-team lobby, T2R included, right? When you're a team that's right there in the money. It's one thing if you're a team that, fell apart, you're in last place, you quit, and you don't care about the consequences, you're probably never going to play PUBG again. You guys play every day and still want to play every day. I got these boys in my DM, like, let us play. No, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? So that's a team that I thought was going to win it all, and you know what? And I was talking about Dynasty and one of the best teams in the game, all that crap. You know what? None of that. None of that. All that talk out the window, straight up dog water. Like, I got love for the players individually, but I mean, as an organization, shit, so there it is.
I'm not going to harp too much on that, but on a little side note to that, even though they didn't play the last week, they started that week in 6th place. They ended that week in 6th place.
Yeah.
All the teams behind them couldn't pass them
No.
on that last day.
That's a championship caliber team. They should be competing for championships.
100%. Yeah, and I don't know what happened probably either with all that stuff, but all I know is that they had 2 guys that could play, and we've never let a 2-man play when it comes to league or any major events.
Yeah, shout
They've
out
never to. They had to the 2 guys that wanted to play, but they had a guy who was sitting there doing nothing, and because they had beef, they took the suspension as opposed to calling this guy up. Can you at least make it? And we don't have to sit in a party together. We don't have to like each other. But there's another guy's affected that's not even on their roster anymore. Antique. Like, he was there. He said he was available to play. They didn't hit him up. So, I don't know.
Which will lead us into our next topic, Grim.
No-show punishment.
Perfect transition,
what happened
K-Dub?
to the teams
I like it.
that did not show up? All right, so we'll start with T2R. No-showed. They got a 2-week suspension. Can't play any NA events for 2 weeks. All members of the team, even the guys who said, he kicked me off the team after week 1 because I didn't do something right. So he benched me, so it's not my fault. Sorry, in the end, it still is. Anybody on that roster is to blame for not showing up. Smart 2R, I felt bad a little bit
Yeah.
because he showed up both nights in the lobby by himself, and no one else for his team showed up. Similar to the K7, two guys ready, willing to play, they just couldn't. Smart 2R showed up, ready, willing to play, and his team failed him, backed out on him. No communication, no nothing. So, yes, he's to blame also, but he made the effort to at least get in the lobby and hoping someone would show up for his team.
And it's not like, yeah, and it's not that difficult. Like Shocks pointed out before, these dates are set, these times are set long before. We allow, after you do the quals, we allow you to make changes. Like,
we've amended it and gave teams the option to do two subs this time because it was summer and people were having difficulty.
Exactly.
Usually we do one sub between quals and finals. I gave teams the opportunity to do two this time just because I knew the struggles teams were having.
Yep.
And they still couldn't make the swap.
No swaps being made. We understand life happens, but that's why we allow these changes and we allow such an extended roster of 7 people. Like, you committed to something, you guys got to follow through.
Yep. And some people, and I'm not a fan of this, but someone's like, we should just have open rosters. They can get whoever they want. And well, no, you can't, because A, you need a team tag. You're not going to have a random guy make a team tag for one night. And
Mr. Lazar.
And then 2, on top of it, what's to stop a guy from, like little kid will say, if you can pick up a random person, he wanted to join TSN for finals. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, I could have added him because it's an open roster. You can take someone from one team and put him on another team, and that messes everybody up. So that's the reason we keep it set for 7. 8, once you get that little swap, but you're not technically getting 8. You're still at 7, but you can get rid of one guy if you choose to. This case, we gave them the option to get rid of 2 guys and put 2 new guys in. And I think T2R was one of those teams where they didn't swap anybody. Like, that week came and went, and they did not make a roster change whatsoever. The original 7 is the original 7 they kept. And the one guy even said he benched me week 2 or like week 1 of quals or something and said I'm not playing anymore. So that's a guy you should be replacing then if you're not going to use him. So now that guy has to suffer because they didn't make a roster swap and they kept their original 7.
Yep. And, going back to the K7 part of it, you had you have Crazy Mob picking up one of K7 members, Kizza, and what a kick in the pants! They could, like, K7 could have replaced, or Kizza could have replaced Antique on the roster at the midway point.
No,
and
no, because Kizza was on.
Once you're on a roster.
No, I'm just saying, if he didn't loan him to Crazy Mob at the beginning, if they just if he just would not have played, and then just at the halfway point, Antique was done. Mm-hmm. His is available.
Yeah, because he did so much for Crazy Mob, he didn't even, you know what I mean? They were 11th place.
I mean, to Kiz's point, right from the start, he went to Crazy Mob because they promised him playtime. He wasn't going to be the. I think he was that like 4 or 5 position where he was guaranteed to get some playtime. Where on Kizza played 10 games, got 6 kills. So I mean, he played 2/3.
Yeah,
or he played 1 week essentially, one of the 3 weeks. But on K7, he was going to be the 6th guy on the team, I believe.
It doesn't matter. You're on a team. It doesn't matter where he is on the roster. You're on the roster for a reason. And you might not be on the final roster. You might not get a lot of time, or the quals roster. But like, there's a reason why you build such a big team. Is so whenever you have these opportunities, you are capable of overcoming them, or these issues. You're capable of overcoming them and perform still at a high level. And I would not have allowed, even if I had Antique and all that, because I wouldn't allowed, as an owner of a team, Kizza to go play for another team just because he's going to get some play time there when there's a chance that we may need him in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And Kiz is that guy you can count on.
Oh, yeah.
He
Exactly.
will be there no matter.
Reliable.
I mean, he's very reliable. Like, he will show up. He's EU, but I'm assuming he loves playing NA tournaments because he does it like all weekend long. He'll play the 6, he'll play the 9, he'll play the midnight. Like, he's up all night playing NA with us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's that guy. So he likes playing over here.
So,
And he's reliable like that. So 100%, that was a huge downfall for that team, letting him go play for Crazy Mob, because he was going to be sitting behind Antique for that.
Yep.
I'll say
fifth
this
position.
to the point from, we got that point, but like from an organizational standpoint, all previous seasons of BGE, we've never really punished people for not showing up. Every time a season ended and there's 13 teams in the lobby, everybody complains about how we need to punish these people. It's not right, the integrity, whatever. So this season, we came out with this rule, 1 week suspension, whatever the case was, exactly how it is. And everybody knew ahead of time that this is going to happen. We're not going to let that stuff slide anymore. And this is what the people wanted. So we have to enforce these rules. These are things that you think we want teams to not show? No! We want 16 teams in lobby. It makes us look so much better, professional, all that good stuff. We want teams to be in there. So we're just enforcing rules because this is what the players want, and this is the image that we want to convey, that we're not settling for that shit no more, and we want a professional league. So, that's really what it comes down to. We don't do it to be a dick because we hate people for this or that, whatever. We do it because that's what the people asked for, and we're giving it to them, and, is what it is.
100%. The rule went for every game you miss, you have to sit one daily. So if you say miss game 1, but you show up for the other 4, then you miss one tournament day, basically.
But if you miss the whole week, you miss the whole week.
If you miss 5, there was a little confusion with how that went. It was originally supposed to be 5 for 5, kind of like 1 for 1, but the rule was typed up and put out there. 5 equals 1 full week.
Yep.
So K7 got a full week. They weren't happy.
Which
they were
I think is
expecting
right, though.
5 days.
You miss a whole week, you shouldn't just get one day. I think that the 7 days is like a little bit more severe for missing the whole damn day.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and I think it needs to go a little step further than that. On top of it, I think we come to separate EU, the BGE EU, BGE NA, completely.
You're right on this, but
and I know I'm right on it.
We know you're right.
But
I mean,
it's just here's a punishment, but we'll still allow you to play in the middle of the day. You just can't play in the evenings with us. Like that's just silly.
No, yeah, you're right on that for sure. But it's just they won't fill without them though. That's the only problem. So we're gonna hurt our EU community.
Does T2R ever sign up for EU? Have you seen them in EU?
Yes, they do.
Right. K7 too.
Because
Smart plays all.
I know K7 does.
Even if you,
but K7 has enough players to figure it out, though.
Yeah, even if it gets picked up by Blurch and stuff. So
can I play EU still? And I mean, even Shock said, yeah, because we don't want to hurt them because they barely fill over there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was taking a whole team out for 2 weeks would hurt them. So yes, I told him he was allowed to play over there.
Oh yes, I understand why we let it slide,
but they shouldn't slide. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't slide. But
I mean, a little bit to that point, then rules they have over there that we don't enforce over here. I mean, we have to look at
Boar.
Each have their own way of running things. We don't run in unison, which we should to a point. But I mean, then you're talking EU has that rule that we don't like in NA.
Yeah.
That we don't want to talk about.
which they love to come to NA and break, mind you.
Oh, they love to come to NA and break.
We want it when it's on our server, but you know what? If I want to go fuck over an NA team, let's go do it. Come on.
For those who don't know, we're talking about the griefing rules.
Specifically, Dubhub gets griefed all the time.
Oh, it's nonstop.
But yeah, so I mean, we got to look at stuff like that. If we're gonna do that, then we have to look at: are we gonna integrate all their rules with our rules? Are we gonna mix stuff? I mean,
and I think this leads into our last.
Eventually be universal, but right now, I mean, they got stuff that they like. Even their price point is lower because they'd rather run scrims. You know,
they do. They will fill a scrim a lot quicker than they will fill even a $6 EU event.
Yeah. And NA is the other way around.
Pricing shouldn't dictate how the rules go, though.
Yeah.
You can have different pricings for each region.
Yeah. We're just saying.
I agree with that.
The differences in the communities. Like, if we do a scrim for NA, nobody's showing up.
No. You do a scrim for EU, you got 15, 20 teams that want to play.
Mm-hmm.
So, I agree. Each region is a little different when it comes to stuff like that.
Facts.
So, a little bit of, I mean, this kind of leads a little bit into the next one, but I'm going to put a pin in that one for a second. We skipped one category. How do you guys feel this league ran?
How dare you? You know what? I think this league ran pretty well. Obviously, I would have loved to seen 32 teams, just because I want to have 4 groups and 2 lobbies and things like that. But it wasn't the case this time around, which it is what it is. This could be maybe we're just a 24 team league. We don't know because the game could be up and down. It was the summertime. People were doing summertime stuff. Maybe in the wintertime we have a different crowd. I don't know. I didn't like the no-shows, obviously. But for the most part, I really liked this league. I thought it was very competitive. So I think, obviously Grimm's did the structure, so I think Grimm did a really good job. The one thing we did was the top people coming out of each group. I really didn't think it ended up mattering at all anyways. So that was one thing that, if you're going to be a top team, you're going to be a top team no matter what anyways. So it really didn't make a difference. I would have loved to have seen power ranking on the grouping, but random just makes it so we don't have to hear nobody, complain. We randomed it. We don't got to hear nothing. It is what it is. You're where you're at. And
the only thing that wasn't randomized was we figured out who we felt were the top 3 teams.
Yeah.
So V2, K7, Skyline.
Yeah.
We put them 1 in each group, and then we randomized the other 7 teams for the rest of that group, just so those 3 teams didn't happen to end up in the same lobby together. Mm-hmm. Not that they probably wouldn't have qualified. They would have just fallen a little lower, but we tried to balance out at least the top 3 teams so they didn't.
The one thing that I really didn't like about this league is that we had to do all E. It was the worst because I mean, obviously it's not.
It is
fault.
So boring.
It was the boringest thing in the world. Just the same thing over and over and over. I was like,
anytime, you could relate that to, even normal games in rank when you're just in that map rotation where you just get the same map over and over and over again. It's not fun.
No,
it doesn't this become most of these people play this because of fun, and I can tell you that it just hurts getting the same map every single time. So,
saying, I would have never. Hold on. I would have never in the past have said, "I miss Miramar." God damn it, I miss Miramar. And everybody else was happy to see it back in rotation. Some people were like, "It's still buggy. Shut the hell up. We're playing."
I heard my team for the first time. What did we have? 2 Miramars yesterday, right?
Yeah, 2 Miramars last night.
The first time I've ever heard them say, "I thank you, Lord, for frickin' Miramar." I've never heard them be happy about Miramar.
Okay, so let's see them on Miramar Monday then, right?
No, they're not going to sign up for that.
They got their Miramar back. That's all they wanted.
Have you met Space? It has to be perfectly even. Like, there's not like I want if it's 5 maps, 2 Miramars. If it's 4 maps, 2 Miramars. Everything has to be perfectly even.
So 3 and 2, got it. 3 Miramars, 2 Erangels.
He might go for it. He might.
But yeah, I agree. The all Erangel sucked. Teams didn't like it. They wanted to play a broken map.
They did.
Yeah, they
We
did.
can't do that.
We just couldn't, in good conscience, play a broken map because it's not fair after the abundance of clips we got that first night of the rendering issues and players being shot through walls and buildings and cover and all that stuff. It's like, we can't play this.
They want to play it, but then at the other token, like, these other guys want these guys suspended for doing what they're doing, you know? Like,
right.
Like,
And
I
then
want
we look
action.
You want action, but the clip they sent me, there's nothing there. I mean, I can't even say that he knew it was a building. Like, the one clip, it was one of the Dub Hub guys, not to call one of your guys out, but...
No, go for it. I know which clip it is.
One of the Dub Hub guys shot one of the cracked mine guys. He was in the warehouse, one of those brick warehouses that has wooden boxes kind of stacked, and you can go up to the second level on the balcony there, and it's got the rooms in there. From the Dub Hub angle, he looked. The guy was standing in an open doorway, no boxes, no nothing, just looked like he was standing there.
Yep.
Who has
so
that
he
clip?
shot, knocked him, and
it allowed us to rotate in the zone because of that. Because if he didn't get that shoot and get that knock, that guy was shooting at our guys that were further behind. You know, so it like Ice and Nasty. We all know this type of player. He is one of those guys who's good guy,
high integrity,
really fair. High integrity. He is not going to take that shot if he thought if it was a wall or a box or anything like that. We're not talking about like the field. What is that called? Out on Miramar, where
the open
GT
field.
would play. Yeah, where GT plays. And, and people were just shooting in there knowing that they can't do it. That's one compound on the whole map. This was there was no rhyme or reason. One building this game, one building another game. There's no way to tell.
Los Leones, where you see a guy just floating on fucking 6 stories up. Like, I'm gonna shoot him. Like, no.
Yeah. No, there was no indication this guy was behind cover whatsoever. And then from the other angle, you could see he was behind a cardboard box or one of those wooden boxes. But from the Dub Hub angle, there's no box. There's no nothing there.
Do we have that clip?
It's in our admin chat.
All right, maybe I'll pull it and play it now.
But yeah,
go for it.
So yeah, it's just one of those things we just in good conscience couldn't let that continue. And I mean, I love Miramar. Miramar is like one of my favorite maps, especially, I mean, I hate to say, especially since the redo. I mean, people seem to like it, but they just couldn't play it. And I know, like they were saying last night, I wasn't around, but there was a couple thank yous after the tournament. Like, thank you for letting us play it. Thank you for putting it back in.
I get it. K-Dub, so quickly.
Yeah.
What's your, how'd you feel the league ran?
I think structurally and just like the time, like the way there was no hiccup. I thought it ran really, really smooth overall. Yeah. Outside of the 2 teams not showing up, one team almost the whole finals, another team last day. But overall, I think it probably ran the smoothest that we've ever had. So to date, and I hope going forward, it's as easy as it was this time around. Because it really was easy from start to finish, from the groupings to the qualifiers to the finals. There was really no hiccups.
I think this admin team of me, K-Dub, and Grim, like, obviously we're not talking all day with each other, but when there is an important topic, you know, we're willing to give our opinions. Sometimes we agree or disagree. But I think in general,
It's a
like
great lot.
we'll say the 3 point, like the 3 Erangels and 2 Miramars, that was but that's the way to go, and it ran smoothly, and that's what we wanted, 3 Erangels, 2 Miramars, and we all ended up agreeing on that when we were thinking 3 and 2, and then 3 and 2 the other way to kind of make it even. So like a lot of little things like that we agreed on that made this one like probably the best and most efficient. The other stuff was out of our hands. We worked at what we could. So we would have liked more teams, yeah. We would have liked it to be Miramar too, yeah. But that's not, we can't control that. So
It's summertime, and it's summertime. The teams just weren't there this time around. But like I've seen a lot of growth in the dailies recently. So I think this next league, when it gets into the fall or whenever we decide to host it here, I think shouldn't I don't think we'll have a problem getting a 32.
Ooh, this might be a nice little into the next topic, Grim. That's a transition right there.
Well, let me talk about how I feel it ran.
How do you feel, Grim?
And then we'll get into that. Don't cut me off.
Trying to go. Let's get it.
Come on, Grim.
I agree. It seemed to run a lot smoothly, minus the map issue and then the team not showing up. And we even had a couple teams DM me volunteering to jump in the T2R spot, just saying we'll play under their name. We'll just keep the points they have. So there were teams willing
That's
to
actually
step up
awesome
to help us out.
I said no, though.
But in the end of the day, we turned them down just because it's not fair to say...
Yeah. Say a random team comes in and drops on the dub hub.
Right.
That didn't earn the spot. Like, that's not right.
Correct. But shout out to...
I know you called that because that would happen. Yeah. That would exactly happen.
But you get what I mean? Like, we put these other teams in, then they mess up one team's game. Like, they shouldn't even be in here. Mm-hmm. Like, what the hell is this?
But,
so we don't want that.
But to that point, that team is also the one saying, we should find another team to fill in. Like, oh yeah, it's okay to do, but then all of a sudden...
When that team kills you...
That team kills you, and now you're like screaming, like, wait a minute. But so for that, shout out to Energy and Revolutions, because those were the two teams that hit me up saying, we'll play if you want us to. We're ready to go. Everybody's ready. So, but yeah, overall smooth. I think I liked the way the rosters shook out for the groupings Group C was a little weak, but for the most part, I think it worked out well for everybody. And then I think this was one of the most competitive final rounds we've had in BGE so far. So
we had like 3-4 teams, 5 teams. I mean, I thought the Dub Hub had a chance of maybe even getting first in the last week. Like, everybody was there.
Yes.
Skyline right there going into the last day. The top 5 teams were neck and neck going into that last day.
I think Skyline took like 3 chicken dinners the last day and took off on everybody. But going into that last day, really, if any one of those teams had a big day, they could have been champs.
I agree. But yeah, so great overall for them. I think it just goes to show that these teams are getting better, and our product's only going to get better as these teams learn and grow.
Thanks.
So that will lead us into our next topic, which is future plans. What are we looking forward to doing here in the BGE?
I think we should start with Kato and ask him first, like, what does he think we should do? And then, because you're going to kind of give your idea on what you think we should do. And I'm going to give my idea on what I want us to do. So, like, Kato kind of give his idea, and then we kind of give what your plan is, and then what my plan is, or whatever. And we don't know yet. So, at the end of the day, we'll see what works.
I mean, this is what we're thinking about.
Yeah. This is just
whether some of this stuff happens or not.
On camera.
To be determined.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the first thing that we absolutely have to do as the BG org, we need to diversify our product. I can't tell you what game or games we should be looking at in bringing comp to, but we definitely need to add another game under our belt, just to build the portfolio.
I love this.
The second thing is, I think We need to get more content like the hot drop, with other personalities from the community, whether it's a Dom or a professor or something where either I, Shocks, or Grim, lead the podcast or the show or whatever it is. We need more of that. Next, with the PUBG, I really think that we need to develop a panel of trusted team, I would say industry visionaries that can help us guide the way, because we're only 3 people.
No.
And we make mistakes. We're never going to be perfect. But you have to understand, we are always going to do what we think is best. And that's not always going to be right sometimes. So I think if we can find a group of people who want to give input, and want to be involved to an extent, I think finding a group of people to pull information from is pertinent to continue PUBG. And lastly, a lot of the work, we need to find some more sponsor boys.
Yeah, facts. We need money.
Oh, we need the team's help. We need views.
Yeah,
we need.
It's all about viewership, to be honest.
It is.
It is 100%.
We need the views, boys. I don't care how boring Grim is on a daily or something like that. I need you to turn it on and say hi.
Yep. Hey, I'm here checking in. We're roll call. Like, come on.
Yep.
To that point, Shocks, quit streaming your gameplay. No one wants to see that. You're bringing our numbers down.
They do.
I wasn't even going to do that. I wasn't even going to do that to him. That pisses me off. Go make Shocks Gaming or something off to the side.
He has his own channel.
Listen, Bing is so dense in the head, and he had his own separate channel.
This place is a prison.
You should too.
Shocks has his own channel. He has his own channel. He doesn't use it.
Oh my gosh.
I gave you the first one. And then you went and did it the next day.
No,
after I called him out. After I called him out for doing it. He's like, it's not that big of a deal. Meanwhile, numbers are tanking.
I had fun. I just gotta say that. I had fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad you had fun.
You know what?
I'm glad I put in hours upon days, hours upon hours every day to moderate and help with rules and discipline stuff. It's just so you can have some fun, dude.
Look, the second day I didn't mean to though. I'll throw that out there. I thought I was recording. Like I was like, I'm just gonna record then, and then if I drop a nuke, like I'm gonna, be engaging the chat, just like engaging like as if people were watching, like 1 kill, 2 kills, you know what I mean? Kind of like that. And then I realized I was streaming. So then I was like, hey, you know what I mean?
Turn it off. It's an hourly thing. Turn it off.
So that
we need a leash.
But here's as far as, or Grim, you still doing your points or what?
Yeah, I mean, that was my first point. That was my first point.
Jeez.
Drop your game point.
Yeah, Grim ultimately is going to give his opinion on what he thinks we should do because he's really the guy that pulls the trigger on a lot of stuff. Me and K-Dub do a lot of ideas for him. But I think to K-Dub's point, I think we move into other games. And you guys seen me playing Call of Duty. There's a reason why, because I wanted to kind of start building that hype toward Call of Duty. We tried doing Halo before. That game viewership is worse than PUBG right now. Like it's right there with PUBG, and that's a new game. So that didn't work out too well for us. But we're gonna cast our net out there again, and we're gonna try Call of Duty. I think we should try Call of Duty. I don't know if we're going to, but I think we should. And there's a ton of opportunity. Whether it is Modern Warfare 2, we could do bracket style search and destroy. We could do a ladder. But then there's also Warzone 2 that's going to come out. So it's not just
Apex.
It's not just regular Call of Duty. We have multiple options, and Call of Duty viewership is insane. So
it is.
K-Dub said Apex. As far as like custom lobbies go, for Apex, you can put in an application to be able to do custom lobbies, which will be accepted. Let's be honest. But they offer no financial gain, so you can't charge a fee or anything like that. You can't do a prize pool unless you're giving out physical prizes like for free. Like, hey, I'm giving out a headset or whatever. You could do that, but they can't be paying. Otherwise, you lose that. So that's the only reason why Apex.
Even if it's a
isn't-
sponsored
If it's a sponsored event, that's
event.
different. Yeah.
Okay.
So
As long as
we
they
would
don't
have
put
to
any money in.
manipulate the system, however the hell we're gonna do it. But
As
that's
long
why
as the
Apex is tough.
entries don't put any money in.
Exactly. So that's the problem with Apex. Otherwise, yeah, right? And we'd be exclusive because we'd be one of the only people running custom lobbies because we'd get the application and they'd approve us because we run tournaments every goddamn day for PUBG and they would love to cripple their competition. You know what I mean? They'd be like, hell yeah.
Yep.
You know? So, of course. But that's
PUBG's the bread and butter.
Apex.
Never turn our back on that.
No, never. But they would love that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the reason why Apex isn't like first on my list. I think Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, whatever, try it. And obviously they have a pro league, right? But that doesn't stop a Dr. Disrespect $1 million tournament. It doesn't stop a FaZe Clan $200,000 or $500,000 tournament. It doesn't stop any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Individual people could still be huge in that arena without it being the official league of Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
That's right. Unlike Halo, where Halo, if you weren't financially backed by
Yeah.
the game itself, it was GG's. You weren't getting any traction.
Yeah.
So
The Halo viewership doesn't it shouldn't get the money that it gets. The only reason why it does is because it's Microsoft exclusive and Microsoft got bread and they want their game to look good. Let's be honest. They don't care about throwing $500,000 at something when they're making that money hand over fist, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Microsoft bought, I mean, they're still in the payment stage, but they bought Call of Duty, which means Call of Duty eventually could be Xbox exclusive eventually. So that could be a thing. Who knows?
That could be big.
Yes, it
I don't
can.
think they will. I don't think
can.
they will. They'll lose too much money.
It would take 2 to 3 years before they can do that. But anyways, that's what I think we should do. Go into new games and then obviously more leagues. I'll let Grim cover all that stuff. But I definitely think, why not dabble? Why not see what's up? Why not try? Because like I was looking at the Twitch numbers and like there was like 10 people that were streaming Warzone that had more viewers than the entire PUBG. Like individual people, more than all of PUBG together. Tiggleton, Fade, like all them combined, they had like 10 individual people doing more than the entire PUBG. So that's insane. And not to mention, there's a lot of people that have 1,000 viewers, 2,000 viewers, whatever, that are streaming. So there's a ton of opportunity. That doesn't mean we're going to thrive in that environment, but there's chance too, like we could try more competition, but why not try?
Being currently just looking, 36,000 people are watching Warzone right now.
Yeah.
Compared to
probably 6,000 for PUBG. And
4,100 watching PUBG.
Exactly. And not to mention when Warzone 2, which I've been saying Destin should have been PUBG 2, right? All Warzone's doing is going to bring out the same goddamn game on a new map and call it Warzone 2. It's going to bring back so many people just because. PUBG could do the same thing for Destin. Have one map, Destin, let that be the map. A couple months later, come back out with Erangel Remastered.
I mean,
Call of Duty does it all the time.
Put that in perspective, there are more people watching Super Mario 64 than there are watching PUBG right now.
Think about all those people that are watching PUBG that are the same person just watching their own stream on their phone.
That too. I mean, that too. 100%.
I mean, they could have taken the route of like League of Legends or Overwatch, or even Fortnite did this. Just like you'd even have to make people buy a new game. You just reskinned it and called it
PUBG 2.
Like PUBG, like next chapter or whatever, next wave or whatever.
Loading screen, little wait screen, all that. PUBG 2
had that great concept on mobile, calling it, what was it, New Estate?
Yeah, New State.
You could have done that with console and the and PC, and you would have just brought all these people right back into
with
it.
The next
you would have brought
update.
Yep. Sign.
Whatever.
They
Grim,
they,
Hey,
def-
go
they
for it,
definitely
Grim.
need a new they need to put the game on a new engine.
Yes.
That's their biggest thing.
Unreal Engine. Excuse me.
PUBG, my DMs are open if you need a marketing guy.
Right.
I'm your man. I'll get you back moving in the right direction here.
He's got all your top Twitch console streamers, so I mean, he'll get you there.
All right, so you're good.
Yes,
You're
go for
good.
it. Go
All
for
right,
it.
my future plans.
Realistic ones here. This is the real deal.
This is what you all wait for. So right now, our next league, not gonna be a season league. I'm gonna shift gears a little bit and do monthly leagues. So our next league isn't gonna be till October. Signups will go out September sometime, and we're gonna do an October league, a November league, a December league, and then off of that, those three, I'll call them mini leagues. We will combine scores for all three. I mean, each one's going to be its own event, but we're going to keep track on the back end, like a spreadsheet or that. Figure out teams, figure out rankings, and figure out, not sure how many teams yet, whether it's the top 5 or top 6 or whatever it'll be, will automatically qualify for BGE Season 5 and automatically go into champs. And then the rest of the teams can sign up and go into qualifying and compete for the remaining however many spots are going to be left for champs. So it's going to make your overall for 3 seasons or 3 leagues matter when it comes to the next season. Got to work out some fine details. I'm pretty sure we're going to do overall points, add it up that way, but I mean, we could tweak it. Something with kills are equal to something different, and placement could be a little something different, and kind of come up with our own scoring system. So, however we want to do it. But I know not every team will play every month, so that could hurt some teams also. And I mean, we know how teams rotate people, so that could be a little something too. Yes, Shocks, you have a question.
Question, sir. Can we get league in November? Like if we did the October or September, October of your monthly thing, right? For the power ranking, and then we do league November, December. Instead of waiting until next year, which is 50,000 years away, November would be sweet for like BG Season 5. Give it to the people, Grim. Be a man of the people.
See, my only thing with that
leading into.
No, I get where you're going.
Leading into.
But I mean, if you're looking to do a 2-month league, October, November, we wouldn't start the next one to December. But
no.
Then we got to mess around with holidays and taking weeks off for 2 weeks in a row between Christmas and New Year's.
What if we what if we did like 3 weeks and then the last week off of November and then 3 weeks and then the last week off of December? Or it'd be over before Christmas, you know, like those first 3 weeks of November, you know what I mean?
I love Grim's idea. What I think we should actually do.
Winter times when we have the most teams.
I think what we actually should do is in October or late September, come out with Season 5, just normal signups. We use this to catapult into your monthly leagues starting off the new year. And then we can start hammering out the monthly leagues, power rankings, and then we go into the springtime with a power ranking and your new idea.
I like the monthly power ranking thing. Even if I think we should still do the monthly thing. I like that. Mm-hmm. But I want us to do like a during the week league, right? During the week league's lit. And that's what you're gonna do, right? Grim is gonna be during the week.
That's what I was gonna do with these monthly leagues. I was gonna make it 2 or 3 days midweek because there are players and teams asking for a
Yeah.
midweek tournament and not always on a weekend, because
That's
there are
awesome.
guys who can only play during the week, they can't play weekends.
That's awesome.
So I was going to make these monthlies during the week, and then figure out the season 5 if we're going to kind of split one day during the week, one day on the weekend, that type of a split, or how to do that.
Or if
I
we
mean,
do a challengers and stuff like that.
right.
I just kind of wanted
Content.
to lead in, hopefully, into a major event. You know what I mean? If we can get it to go
Wink,
into
wink,
a
nudge,
land,
nudge.
that'd be sick. You know, BGE Major 4 or something. You know what I mean? Like 3 or whatever. You know, that'd be lit.
3.
So, yeah.
I got you.
You know what I mean? That'd
I
be
mean,
cool.
we can. It's just I was trying to avoid doing a big season league around the holidays, just because I know money's tight for people. Um, Weekends are tied up and all that type of stuff when it comes to that. Christmas parties, family
You're
parties,
not wrong.
the holiday itself. I
Not
mean,
wrong.
Christmas falls on
The 24th.
a Sunday this year.
Okay.
On a Sunday. So Saturday's Christmas Eve, so nothing will be run on a Saturday, nothing on a Sunday. And then the following week you've got New Year's, nothing on Saturday, nothing on Sunday. So you got 2 weeks right there where you're gonna lose
Unless
a
we did
weekend
October, November, right? That'd be the only way we can try and
and be done by
like if we started that
Thanksgiving.
first week of October and be done right before Thanksgiving.
Could do that and then run a couple
Like we could do 6
mini
weeks.
series.
You know, the whole week of October and then 2 weeks of November.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there would be 7 weeks if we started the first week of October, to end the week before Thanksgiving.
Yep. There you go.
I mean, we could pull a league off in that time.
It just would be tight. Whatever. We got time, anyways. We're getting too far into the details with the people. That's just to give you guys a taste of what we talk about, what we think about.
So yes, so we'll either do a season 5 early, or we'll start monthly leagues in October. In any event, something will start in October.
Yes.
And we'll go from there. We're future plans. We're early stages of, as Shock's kind of hinted there a little bit, big event number 3, shall we say, in a spot to be determined still.
Yeah. Tons of work ahead of us.
Tons of work for us on the back end.
This stuff ain't free.
To K-Dub's point about a little review panel or something to help bounce some ideas and get some information back on, what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of that? So, I mean, I try to put some of the little stuff in chat here and there, like, hey, give me a little feedback. And it gets lost and people get off on tangents and it's hard to keep on track. So having the 3 to 4 people that we could go to and say, what do you think of this? Or what do you think of that? And get the little controlled feedback will be huge. And we're not saying they have to be players. We're not saying they don't have to be players. A nice little mix of people would be beneficial, and then we have some outside ears or outside eyes.
We could even give them a vote similar to ours, you know, where it's like, if they 3/4 or whatever their majority is on a topic, that would be a vote like mine or yours or K-Dub's or whatever to throw in, you know?
Okay.
Like their majority rule equals one of us, you know?
Okay. I gotcha. So I do like that idea. We kind of have a few people in mind. Haven't reached out this week. We kind of talked about it a little bit last week, so I will make that something this weekend to hit up a couple people that we feel would be good for that role and see if they're interested. And then go from there.
If you're interested, use code BGE.
So
blow up Grimm's DMs.
Yeah, blow up Grimm's DM. Don't even
or hit up my DMs. I mean, we have our mind, but maybe there's someone that we're not thinking about.
Don't be shy. Like people want like us to just find. Nobody asked me. Well, ask us.
Right.
You know?
We tell you this stuff. We only think of certain people, or we're limited because in the heat of the moment, we're going, all right, this is what we want. And I think this person would be good. I think that person would be good. And there might be somebody else out there who we didn't even consider, like a Zalade, who we talked about with the MVP. No one would put him in that category, but he's there. He was the top guy. So
he said, if somebody said, "What do you think about Zalade MVP?" I would have been like, "Damn good one, yeah, for sure." You know? So there you go.
Hit me up, hit one of us up. Don't matter, and we'll talk about it. And if we feel like you'd be a good fit,
don't hit me.
We'll make something work. So we did PUBG's future. Chalks talked about future games. We talked about our little bit of plans. At the end of the day, we just want BG to grow into more than what we've got now.
Yes.
And
we just want to be $1 million organization so bad.
So then we can just sit here and do this all day.
Forever. Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, we know we want to grow. We know we need to expand. And we do need your guys' help to do that a little bit too.
Yes.
If you guys have any ideas where to expand to, other than like we've kind of talked about COD or a little bit Apex maybe, drop them in the comments.
Apex
let us
would
know.
be lit though, because the viewership's really good.
Mm-hmm. But that whole
that's why I got well schooled. You know, I investigated heavily.
But yeah, so that's all I have for that. Usually I have a mystery topic, but we ran a little long today, so I won't do one tonight.
Good. All right. With that being said, we will catch you guys on the next episode of The Hot Drop. Boom.